Coming up on News 2, police are investigating a broad daylight robbery of the Bank of St Croix in Peter's Rest. The Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency graduated some students as certified Teen CERT members in a brief ceremony. Plus, our Breast Cancer Awareness Month recognition continues. We learn more about treatment options and how they are selected for each patient. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping on Newscast, nearly 30 students were certified as first responders Tuesday after going through 45 hours of intense training in the past 2 weeks. The faculty and students of Elena Christian Junior High, as well as family members, were on hand to witness the Teen CERT graduation for 28 new members. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
It's been an intense 2 weeks, but 2 weeks well worth it for the 28 junior high students who completed the Teen CERT program.
Good job, Korea.
During a graduation ceremony Tuesday, the Elena Christian students were certified as Teen CERT first responders, and that means they can assist in any emergency.
They'll be able to take care of the school here until professional responders are able to get here.
The students are amazing, seeing what they did in the time that they learned all of this.
Teen CERT is the Teen Community Emergency Response Team, a national program that helps train students just how to respond when disaster strikes.
They can respond to small fires, they can respond to cases where first aid is needed, they can respond to cases where if the building has collapsed and somebody is under the rubble, they'll be able to extricate that person. They also have been trained in how to organize themselves as a team and manage the event.
This program is needed in all the public schools, I would say, across the territory. So this program definitely helps the young people be in positions of leadership, because if we have a catastrophic event, for instance a hurricane or any kind of event like that, these students would be able to step up and actually lead us, the adults, through those kinds of situations and provide meaningful help and assistance to those in need.
And that work will pay off not just at their school, but wherever they are in the community. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Well, together, Vitima and St Croix Rescue have trained almost 200 Elena students in the past 5 years for the Teen CERT program. Now, during the Teen CERT graduation, the group's advisor announced that Elena School's Rocketry Club was also chosen to take part in a NASA-led STEM program. Their project, if selected, will be presented next June in Nevada.
Based on the Team America Rocketry Challenge competition this year in May, we did so well. We placed 24th out of the top 100 in the nation. And every year, NASA selects the top 25 to take part in a competition that is at the level of college. The idea behind it is that they're going to provide each school with the software and with the electronic payload to build and design a STEM project. It proves that what I'm doing with the rocketry student is bearing dividends, and that these students are going to really shoot for the stars. And I'm so happy, I'm so excited that we would be going to Nevada to show that St. Croix has rocket scientists down here.
Congrats to Steve Bullock and all the students. In crime news, a St. Croix bank was held up early Tuesday morning, and according to police, the two men entered the Bank of St. Croix in Peter's Rest just before 10. One of the suspects had a gun and demanded money. Police responded within minutes, but the suspects had already robbed the bank and fled the scene. No one was injured in the incident. Police have not yet released the amount of money that was taken. Anyone with information about this robbery, you're urged to call the police or Crime Stoppers. The Department of Personnel has established new guidelines when it comes to taking the law enforcement entrance exams. They've expanded the group who can waive the exam to be police and corrections officers. Personnel will now allow people with degrees in all areas of study, not just the criminal science fields, to waive taking the exam. Those applicants still have to meet other guidelines to qualify. This year, the agency will be holding entrance exams for police and corrections officers territory-wide the week of December 1st to the 5th. Now, anyone interested should submit an application packet during the sign-up period that began Monday and ends October 31st. Two St. Croix fishermen are safe at home after a rescue. A Coast Guard boat crew rescued Juan Reyes Serrano, 49, and Benigo Rodriguez, 27, on Monday after their 21-foot Boston whaler capsized approximately 7 nautical miles northeast of St. Croix. They departed Monday morning from St. Croix on a fishing trip to the vicinity of Langbank when their boat began taking on water and capsized. Coast Guard Boat Forces personnel in St. Croix received the report, located the two clinging on to the capsized vessel, and transported them to Altoona Lagoon in Christiansted, St. Croix, where they were released to awaiting family members. The VI government is suing its lawyers over some bad advice they got. On Monday, both the Public Finance Authority and the government of the VI filed suit in district court against the law firm of Buchanan, Ingersoll and Rooney, PC. Now, that lawsuit was also filed against the VI's financial advisor, Bank of America. The government alleges that the law firm and bank incorrectly advised the VI that $219 million in bonds issued in 2006 would be tax exempt. Instead, the IRS found at least $80 million of that wasn't qualified to be exempt. The VI is seeking damages for the $13.6 million the IRS wants the territory to pay. Well, time for some election news. For those who want to get a head start and avoid the lines on election day, don't forget early voting has begun. It started today, Tuesday, October 21st, and until October 31st, it's taking place. Now, Territorial Watlington said today that there was an error with the machine program, so they are being cautious, and there's a glitch. So when that glitch is corrected, the board will enter the information into the machine. Meanwhile, in a press release, Election Supervisor Caroline Falk says electors coming in will deposit their ballot in the holding bin of the DS-200 that has multiple forms of security. The ballots will be in a sealed container for safekeeping until election, when the district boards can individually count them under the scrutiny of the committee. Now, she's reminding everyone no electioneering or any form of campaigning are allowed at the polling places. Early voting will be held on all 3 islands at the election offices from 10 to 6 p.m. each day. Well, here are some more opportunities to hear live and direct from the candidates. At the lower level at Sunshine Mall on St. Croix on Wednesday, October 29th from 3 to 6 p.m. Also, UVI concludes a series of elections forums with sessions for 2014 governor and lieutenant governor candidates. On St. Thomas, it's on Wednesday, October 22nd at the Reichel. And on St. Croix, it's Thursday, October 23rd at UVI. Sessions are from 6 to 7:15 for lieutenant governor, and then 7:30 following to 9 for gubernatorial candidates on both days. Remember, general election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. joined the owners of St. Thomas Jet Center, Michael and Susan Hancock, to dedicate a new facility that will provide a much-needed service for passengers arriving on private aircrafts from non-U.S. locations. St. Thomas Jet Center is a full-service aviation support operations for pilots and aircraft owners. Owners were required to land at the Cyril E. King Airport and cross the runway to access customs and immigration services at the main terminal. Now, the company can provide the convenience of customs and immigration services on the north side of King Airport. A 2,000 square foot standalone building is also in the works. Turn our attention overseas. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued new guidelines, as we reported, for how healthcare workers treat Ebola patients, and also about 120 people who somehow came in contact with Thomas Eric Duncan and the 2 nurses who contracted Ebola through him are still being monitored. Health officials say dozens of people on the original watch list have passed the incubation period safely. A judge has sentenced Olympic track star Oscar Pistorius to 5 years in prison for killing his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. A huge crowd surrounded Oscar Pistorius as police hauled him away to begin a 5-year prison term for killing his girlfriend. The sentence for manslaughter comes 20 months after the shooting. Well, keeping our eye on the economy, another major retailer says customers' credit card info could be in the hands of hackers. Staples confirms it's investigating a possible credit card data breach. If it discovers an issue, Staples says customers won't be responsible for fraudulent charges. Here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 215, Nasdaq 103, S&P 37. Coming up on News 2, our breast cancer awareness recognition continues. We learn more about treatment and how doctors determine which one is best. Age is one factor. More details coming up next. There is no single treatment for cancer. Doctors have a range of options available and must decide which is best for each patient. They will often combine several types of treatment for greater effect, taking into account all sorts of factors. Here's more as we continue our breast cancer awareness. Research is continually developing and tested for new ways to treat breast cancer more effectively while reducing side effects. Doctors call it multidisciplinary because it involves many different types of physicians.
The medical oncologist, which is what I do, usually oversees the care of a patient with breast cancer. The most important treatment for breast cancer is surgery.
After getting a biopsy and documenting that it is breast cancer, then surgery is considered. The surgeon meets with the patient to decide the best options.
So a woman can undergo a lumpectomy where they have the lump removed and the rest of the breast remains, or a woman can undergo a mastectomy where the whole breast is removed. As part of the surgery, the lymph nodes under the arm are also examined, and that helps to determine the extent of the cancer and thus the stage of the cancer. So the surgery is very important.
There are factors such as the patient's age, history, and lifestyle, which are very important in deciding on the best treatment. Doctors will usually involve the patient in the decision as much as possible.
We determine whether or not the patient will need chemotherapy and or radiation therapy. Chemotherapy involves drugs, their medications. Most times they're given intravenously. There's also treatment that comes in pill form, but for the most part, chemotherapy for breast cancer is intravenous. Radiation therapy is done by a radiation oncologist, and there are certain criteria that have to be met in order for a patient to be a candidate for radiation therapy. And those are the three major treatments that are involved.
Now take note, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk is drawing near. That's this Sunday, October 26th at 5 p.m. It begins at the Austin Babe Monsanto Marine Terminal in Crown Bay, which is next to the Flavors Restaurant, and ending at Emancipation Garden. There will be a free shuttle service available. There will also be various activities and informative presentations, all beginning at 3 p.m. You can also expect a Zumba warm-up, raffles with prizes from Pandora, Cardao Jewelers, and Innovative, as well as the highly anticipated fun-filled Most Creative Bra and Outfit contest. The ACS will also have a health education tent with information on the risk factors, symptoms, diagnosis, mammograms, and other key areas of awareness. Well, students, take note, just a quick reminder, this Thursday, October 23rd at 7 p.m., representatives from the University of Notre Dame Admissions and Enrollment Division, they will present information on the undergraduate application process and summer programs for high school students. That's at Antilles School in the Henry Kimmelman Library. Be sure to head out and get all the necessary information. Again, that's this Thursday at 7 p.m. Hispanic heritage events continue. Two significant activities are planned at the Claudio Marco Elementary School this week to mark the month-long observance. First, students will take to the stage to show their appreciation of the peoples and cultures of the Latin neighbors. Now on Wednesday, October 22nd from 9 a.m. to 11, then on Thursday, October 23rd, from 12:30 p.m. to 2, faculty and staff, as well as parents, will be hosting a taste of Hispanic culture. Also, another event, residents of the Candido Guadalupe community on St Croix, you're invited to the last in a series of Hispanic outreach focus meetings on Wednesday, October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the community center. Christian CERT opened its doors again last Saturday with a vintage and collectibles fair. The Christian CERT Community Alliance hosts the fair that it's held twice a year to offer unique and vintage finds in a quaint setting. Limerick Park, numerous vendors showcase their arts and crafts, jewelry, oils, honey, plants, and other wares. A number of local organizations were also present to provide information about their groups. There was plenty of food and even storytelling for the little ones. Are you an avid art lover? Well, you don't want to miss the exhibit Defend Paradise, Intersections Between Social Change and Environmental Advocacy exhibition. It opened last Friday at Yacht Haven Grand. It's the third in a series of pop-up art exhibitions. Now, it opened with a preview wine and chocolate tasting that will be benefiting the Virgin Islands Rotary Peace Initiative. The exhibit will be open free of charge every day, except for Sundays, until November 15th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now, over 20 artists have been chosen to create a body of work. Tommy Pilgrim and Unity Band is headlining a cultural affair at the West Indian Company Limited's October Community Concert. Now, that began at 5:30. It continues until 9:30 p.m. on the West Indian Company dock, so you still have some time. The Ivana Udorken School Dynamite Rays Jazz Band performed earlier. Now, Tommy Pilgrim and the Unity Band features Pilgrim on drums, Rasa Daija on guitar and vocals, Sandran Masak, Wendy Joseph, and Eric Provost on lead vocals, Lumumba Leonard on keyboard and vocals, and Donald Birmingham on bass. The concerts are always free and open to the public. Well, be sure to stick around. Your News 2 Accurate the Forecast is coming up next.